I'm going to give you a quick rundown on Dana Rivers. I did a little bit of research and I was like, wow, let me just go ahead and share this story because I don't think many people have heard about this story. It happened in Oakland, California on November 11th, 2016. Now, David Chester Warfield admits that he had 3 failed marriages. It could have probably been because he was an alcoholic, and he says that he was also struggling with the fact that he felt like he was a woman. He was transgendered. He was suffering from body dysmorphia. Back then, he was a whitewater rafter instructor, a baseball coach. He did 3 years in the U.S. Army, and then he decided to get his career in education. He wanted to be a teacher. Warfield was an outstanding teacher at Center High School in Antelope, California. He was very highly regarded. In 1999, he spoke with the faculty and he told them that he was going to transition into a woman. Of course, Warfield was still able to continue with his job, but they warned him not to discuss his transitioning with the students. That was not the place to discuss his personal matter. So, Warfield discusses his transitioning with the students. He was dismissed, fired, let go, axed, goodbye, unemployed. Warfield sues the school and he wins $150,000. David Chester Warfield is now Dana Rivers after having the surgery in 2000. In 2004, she's even discussed the case on 2020. That was a nightly show, if people forgot, with Barbara Walters. So he even went on there and discussed it. She. I will be using she. So she went on 2020 and discussed. Now she was a advocate for the transgender community. On April 11th, 2016, police arrived to the home on Dunbar Avenue in Oakland. Rivers, now 61, was on her motorcycle drenched in wet blood, carrying one of the weapons that she had used after murdering 3 people inside that home. Patricia Wright, 57, Charlotte Reed, 56, a same-sex biracial couple. They live there with their 19-year-old adopted son, Benny Toto Diambu Wright. Now, I had to read that they did say it was a biracial couple because I guess the Caucasian woman, she has probably a suntan, because I was like, wait a minute, she didn't look biracial, but it didn't look like a biracial couple, but it is a biracial couple and definitely a same-sex, and they are married. They were legally married. So I did read a portion of it where she had stabbed Wright and Reed. Reed, the one that she was having the issue with, the black woman, she stabbed her over 40 times. Both of them were shot first. So she shoots this couple, then she stabs them. Overkill. Benny, the son, she shoots him 1 time in the abdomen. He's able to stagger out, only wearing his pajama bottoms. He's shirtless. He runs into the middle of the street, and unfortunately, he died. Again, only 19 years old. And she's done this. She proceeds now to burn down the house by setting it afire with the gas. She brought gasoline to the home. She actually had gasoline, she had ammo, she had the gun, she had the knife. So she came with everything that she needed. So basically this was premeditated because she drove on her motorcycle with everything that she needed. And it was the neighbors that called the police when they heard the shotguns. So she's trying to burn this house down to cover up her crime. But the fire department was able to get there in time before the home had completely burned down. Now, some people, like myself, have never heard of this case, and they're saying because Dana Rivers was a transgender advocate. And she's the star in this case. She's the main one being talked about. That's why they said that we haven't heard about this case. Honestly, there's a lot of cases that don't involve transgendered people that, sometimes it takes a while to come to the forefront, to come to the public, and that is true. So I'm not going to say that they were hiding this case because it was a transgendered woman. I'm not going to say that. But now, in 2023, 7 years later, we are finding out what happened to the same-sex couple and their adopted son. In 2017, Rivers had actually pled not guilty, and in 2018, she was ordered to stand trial on the murder charges. Now, there were plenty of delays, and of course, at the beginning of October 22nd, the trial had begun, but there were delays because the judge, I believe, had got COVID and then the COVID restrictions, so that kind of delayed the cases as well. So now we're here, and they're ready to go, and they're ready to find out what's going on with Dana Rivers. So on November 16th, the jury had found Rivers guilty on all charges, the arson, the double murders, everything. Now, she tried to plead insanity using her post-traumatic stress because remember, she was, in the U.S. Army. The judge said she doesn't believe that, she's insane. That's what I read in an article. I don't know if they're going to think that she's insane or give her an insanity defense. I have no idea. But right now, that is what she tried to plead. Now, the reason of why she did this, right? Why did this woman or transgendered woman go into this home and kill these people? Now, the reason is Rivers and Reed, they had an on-again, off-again friendship. It was supposed to be just friendship. And Reed had just stopped talking to her. I guess she was tired of her. She didn't want to talk to her no more. They all belonged to a motorcycle group filled with women. I think they were all women. They all belonged to this group, and it was called the Deviants, of all names. That's the name of their motorcycle gang, Deviants. And Reed had briefly been a part of this group, but Rivers had been a part of this group for quite some time. She actually had a tattoo that said the 1%er because this was her group. I don't know if she started it, if she founded it, if you will, but this was her group, and she took it very seriously. She was actually the enforcer of the group. So when Reed was just tired of her and didn't want to be bothered with her anymore, she said, quote, "Stay smart. Don't get yourself hurt, bitch. If I were you, I'd back the fuck off before you overstep out of line. You're so close to crossing. Don't think I don't know where the fuck you visit and what you're doing," end quote. So she sent her a whole bunch of, profanity-filled texts, just telling her she was going to get her. I mean, because this woman just didn't want to, talk to her anymore. There was no money exchange. They weren't fighting over anything. She just didn't want to be in the group anymore from what I have read. That's it. If something else comes out, I'd like to know because that was it. That's it. And she went into this home and took her out along with her wife and their adopted kid, 19 years old. And he's dying with pajama bottoms on in the middle of the street because this freaking maniac is upset that this woman doesn't want to be in this group anymore. I mean, it's nuts, right? So on January 31st, the sentencing will proceed along with the appeals. So they're already talking about an appeal. It's already being discussed. So on January 31st, we're going to find out what's going on with Dana Rivers, how much time she's going to get. Now, she's 67, I think now? I think 67, right? But we're going to find out. If she gets 25 years, that's automatically life. But yeah, she definitely needs to stay in there. She killed 3 people. And it was more than certainly premeditated. So now when you see this picture of this person, now you know exactly what she did. So when you hear the verdict, you'll be like, yeah, I know about that case. She's fucking nuts.